And hello everyone, this is Top Class International League. Today we're having Didier versus Villain.R, which is a pretty hyped match for this league. As you can see, we're starting to see quite well how it may end up, with Active being pretty much on top alone. Even if Yoshi can join him at free win if he wins against Didier. But yeah, clearly, if Villain wants to claim his place in top 2 to get into the A class of OU League, he needs to win today against Dan. So we have a pretty hyped match going on. So I'll just set it up real quick and we're gonna go straight into the game. So, Didier Dan versus Villain.R. Same as always, first to 30. I'm quite curious to see how Villain will adapt against Dan's playstyle. I think he had a lot of material to analyze how Dan is playing, maybe find some counterplay. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how it will end out. So Dan already starting with his area attacks, but they were handled very nicely by Villain. Just need to find a yellow for start. Doesn't find it as a secondary chain, but it's not enough. Sadly, couldn't find the yellow. So I think it's gonna be first point for them. Let's see. This may be also an early attack from Dan, but he may also convert it like he usually does, so you never know what to expect. And Villain is playing it very safely. He was expecting an attack from Dan, but he didn't rush into him, which was a really great choice from him, because now he has a 6 chain and he's clearly in advantage, I think. Oh, but that's a nice 4 chain from Villain as a response. Going off. Okay, now Dan's taking the advantage. Dan is really good at knowing when he has to send his early attacks or not. And here it was exactly a case where he needed to not send it. It was very smart of him. Sadly, he got a bit unlucky with his counters here. Yeah, sadly it's gonna cost him the point. But that was a very nice round from both players. Oh, and an all clear point. Let's see how this plays out. We're gonna directly send it on Dan's side. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I mean, it's pretty much like, it depends from players. Some like to send it early, some don't. It's fine, I think both ways. We have pretty strong chain on both sides. Let's see. Oh, sadly, Dan got cut off in his chain. He couldn't send it. He was a few frames late. Because he had a pretty good chain, so he could have survived pretty easily, I think. But yeah, Villain's gonna catch the point. Let's see. Again, some early attack setup. Will he send it? Will he not? Okay, 2 chain. Responded by full start from Villain. I think it's a good idea generally against Dan to just send your whole chain. Especially if you have a lot. Like 8 double is barely enough, I think. Against Dan is usually enough. Yeah, he just has 6. But it's really hard to know like what exactly Dan's gonna have with his chaotic playstyle. Sometimes he just manages to make 12 chains out of these early attacks setups, which is pretty impressive to see. And now we just have a regular GTR build. Yeah, it's a crosscut GTR. kind of. Just misses a red, but can always put it in second column, so it's fine. Do it, rebounded by 2. Nice response from Dan. Dan's taking a very big advantage here. Will Villain manage to get out of this? Okay, he's just gonna start main. He has what? It's 9 chain, I think. I think Dan can really easily have more. That's a great extension from Dan. That was such a great extension from Didier Dan. Yeah, he has like 11. I think it's 11, yeah. That was such a great chain from Dan. Oh, but there's a good second chain on Villain's side too. 6, that's gonna be enough to counter. Wow, what a point. Those chain builds were actually insane, like, honestly. It was really close, but Villain manages to catch up to Dan. Villain is so good at like doing these secondary chains and just rebuilding. A very clean player. Which I think it can be pretty hard for Dan to deal with. That early folk... Oh, but Villain got the double green to start his chain. Even so, I think like 4 chains all clear are just a bit too slow, I think. Like it gives a lot of time to respond. I don't know if it's worth it, but in this case it wasn't, because Villain got the start. Claiming his 5th point, 5-1. For now it's pretty much one-sided, but I'm expecting anything can happen when Didier Dan is playing, so... things like that. Just go poof. Okay, then claiming his 2nd point. Let's see how this goes. Okay, no, it's a regular chain setup from Dan. Villain just building his regular chains. That's a big free chain attack, responded by full start. Yeah, it's main chain from Dan. It doesn't have that much. It's only a 7. Oh wait, no, everything works, so it's 10. My bad. But that's also a very clean tailing from Villain. No, it's 10 chain, but with the ult here. Yeah, sadly, Dan's not gonna be able to respond to this. That was such a clean chain from Villain. Like I said, he's just that good at building chains. Okay, we're seeing some nice chain setups here. Some thorns responded by a 5 chain. That's basically Dan's main chain, so maybe a bit overkill. Yeah, because Villain's main is just gonna be a 9 chain, and there is no way Dan has enough to counter that. Yeah. That was a nice try though, I'll say it. It was a really nice try from Dan, but there was no way he could have a big enough chain to counter that. Going for the 1 chain. Villain really doesn't want to get attacked, but that was pretty weird setup. I don't know. Because it couldn't make the holy counter, so... Yeah, I don't really know what Villain was trying to do here. Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit weird, but Dan just claims the point. Okay. Again, we can see how Villain is playing like really safe, which is the best way to handle Dan's playstyle, I think. You just have to play safe. Oh, that's a really nice response there. 3 chain countered by a 4 chain. It's gonna force down. Oh, he's just gonna take the damage. Well, that actually was a pretty smart choice. Yeah, he still has access to his main chain, so he's fine. That's a big 2 chain that's gonna force Dan into main. But yeah, Villain just has more without too much trouble. Wait, no, his technique doesn't work. No, I spoke too fast. The Villain didn't have enough. It was way less than enough. So Dan claims the point. Okay, regular chain build from Dan, but he still goes for an early attack. Villain's gonna have response, but it's not that good. That's a really good follow-up though from Dan. Oh, have to be careful. Oh, no, it's sadly not gonna be enough. I think Villain could have at least tried to like counter it and dig down. I think he could have tried. It was worth trying for sure. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that was a misdrop, maybe. I'm a bit surprised he didn't at least try. Like, he just needed, like, 2 purples, basically. So yeah, it was worth trying. Okay, and a big 2 chain from Dan. But Villain was ready for it, and just gonna send off his main chain with a big 5. Actually, Dan has a pretty good tailing here. He has a 5 chain too. Yeah, but sadly it's not gonna be enough. Yeah, the 5 chain's gonna kill there. Like I said, if you basically have your main chain ready when Dan attacks you, it's pretty much always a good choice to just send it off. Especially if you have a very optimized chain build. Because it's really hard, but even if Dan is very good at extending his chains, it's just not possible in some cases. You just don't have enough time. Again, a big 2 chain that may come. Let's see. Thinking for a bit, no. I think he decides to not send it off. Yeah. He's seeing how very well Villain is playing his defensive game and just sends off main. Sadly, Dan's 4th column was so empty that, yeah, Villain knows that just sending main is the way to go here. And it was. It was. That was a very, really good choice from Villain there. Because Dan is really good at like observing and knowing when to send his big attacks or not. But if his opponent is doing the same, it's really hard to keep off the pace with like those big chains when you have only all the attack setups. Yeah, again, he had a really big attack that he could have launched, but yeah, he decided to send it now. But that was such a strong free chain from Villain. That's gonna force main, and yeah, just Villain sends main too, and it's basically game over. There's no way you can counter that. That's a big 7 chain. Yeah, he just knows. There's no way to counter that. Oh, now we have 5 to 10. I think Villain is a very tough matchup for Dan. Like, I think Dan is way, way better at playing against weaker players than him, than he is against stronger players. Because basically, if you do a single mistake against Dan, you're just gonna get punished instantly. Like, and that's how he just annihilates some weaker players. But against stronger players, it's really hard to pull those kinds of tricks. That's an 8 chain. That's not that big, because that's such a nice extension there from Dan. Pulling off a 9 chain. That was a really nice chain from Dan there. Trying to close it off with the 3 chain, but Villain has a 3 chain too, and a really powerful one. Mm. Again, free chain. That's a really nice build there. Free chain. Going in again with the really big 4 chain there. Villain ready for the holy counter. That's a really nice counter. What a back and forth between these two. And again, a really powerful free chain. It never ends. It never ends. Yeah, but now I think Villain is in a really bad position there. Let's see if Dan manages to close it off. Just need to build a no rush. No need to rush. Going in for the 5 chain. Sadly, Villain got really unlucky with his colors. And then just taking that point. That was such a nice point. Those back and forth were pretty amazing to see. Again, Dan going for the early attack. Decided to not send it off because Villain is just playing really safe. You can see how a player like that just quickly adapts to whatever playstyle he plays against. That's really impressive to see. Going off into small chains, but Villain just goes into main, which again is a pretty good choice, seeing how this may work. Yeah, it's a big 10 chain, but Dan may have enough actually. It's a pretty nice chain from him too. It's 11, but yeah, sadly it's not enough because there was just too much. I think there was like 9 triple from Villain, like 8 triple into 9, something like that. So yeah, it's really hard to counter. It was like 80k points, I think, something like that. Again, Villain playing real safe in this build. Then just going in for the 2 chain. Yeah, sadly, Villain was not ready for it. He's just gonna have to give the point. 7 to 11. Let's see. Same thing for now. Oh, Villain going for the all clear? Like a 6 chain whole clear? That's... Yeah, Dan didn't have his chain ready, but I think that was a pretty weird choice from Villain. Because, like I said, even a 4 chain all clear is questionable, to say the least, but a 6 chain just to get the all clear is just not worth it. But maybe he saw that Dan couldn't have his chain already, so maybe that's why he decided to do that. Yeah, Villain going into main is just gonna take off the point. One chain, okay, just early poke. Oh, that's a really powerful free chain from Villain. That's gonna force Dan into dying, actually. I thought he could have the time to start his main chain, but no. Oh, just finishes off with these 2 chain. That was really, really clean from Villain. Villain is just playing like really smoothly. He knows what he needs to do, and he just do it like almost perfectly, I'd say. It's very, very nice. But let's see. Maybe Dan can adapt his playstyle to match his Villains. Going off for the early free chain. That's a nice counter there from Villain. Yeah, and again, I mean, it's pretty much like when Dan sends you an attack, it's either you go into main, which can work, or if you have a bigger defense than when it sends you, it's basically game over because he has to go into main, and your main chain is always gonna be bigger than his if he doesn't have time to extend. But let's see. Going on for the early free chain. And again, Villain was just ready for it. Gonna counter. It's not that big of a counter actually. So that may be an advantage for Dan because he has a fortune just ready to send. Oh, but that was a really nice response from Villain, which could start his train from both sides. Dan's gonna get the perfect clear. Just gonna send it off. Villain was ready for it. He's gonna go for the early counter. Let's see. I think Dan is still in a better position than Villain, I think. It's pretty hard to tell, but I think it is. That's a really nice chain there from Dan. And yeah, Villain is just in too much troubles there. He just needs too much colors. Dan gonna take the point. 8-50. No. Is this an... Yeah, I think this is also an adapt setup from Dan. I'm not sure. No, I don't think it... Oh. Oh, you saw the cowboy look like they both stare at each other, but no one's gonna shoot first. It was pretty funny, actually. Big 6 counter there for Dan. Yeah, forcing Villainy to main. That's the kind of situation where Dan can pull off pretty insane things, actually. Like, we already saw him pulling off insane extensions. But sadly, that's not gonna be enough. That 4 chain's not gonna be enough. If he just had like one more chain, if he had like a 5 triple, it could have been enough, I think. Or like barely enough. So that was a pretty nice try. Okay. Just going off with this free chain. I don't really saw what Villain was trying to do there. It was a bit weird. But okay. Yeah, just then gonna snap off the point. Yeah, and again, it goes for this setup. Just gonna send it off right away. Oh, that was nice early counter try from Villain. Sadly, he got just not. He got very unlucky with the Ojamas there. Villain had the perfect counter, but he just got really unlucky. That's sad, but this game is filled with RNG, so it's not the first, not the last time. And again, but now it's just Villain that goes into those early attacks. Just go, oh yeah, you want to attack me? Well, I'll attack you too. Which I think is a pretty good strategy because he can easily put some people off guard, even Dan. Okay, that's a really big 5 chain, but it's just too much. It gives too much time. But wait, it's not working actually. Villain doesn't have that much. So yeah, actually it was a really good choice. That was a nice 4 chain from Dan. That was a really nice chain there. 11-16. Nothing's closed right away. Like, Dan can easily catch up, I think. Well, not easily, but that's doable. Just going for the 2 triple, but again, Villain is ready for it. It's only 4, but it's still gonna hit. It's not itching that hard actually. Like, it's manageable. Let's see. Yeah, then going for mate, I don't think that was a really good choice because he only has 6. Let's see. Yeah, Villain just has a hate chain. They're just gonna kill right away. Yeah, Villain taking quite the lead. And again, just Dan goes really early for the OD counter attack. It's pretty hard to tell like which one is an advantage here. That's a nice 2-chain from Villain. Very nice response from Dan. I think Dan is in a little bit of a better shape, I think. Especially if Villain doesn't have what he wants. That was some really good, like, high level playing. Yeah, I don't think that's an. Yeah, that's not an attack from them. He's just going for kind of sub setup. Yeah, that's a really nice defense there. Nice secondary start. Going for the 4th chain. Yeah, sadly, Villain just has too much there. Again, it's just. There's no way you can counter that. Like, Villain's very good at finding those, like, checkmate situation where whatever Dan does is just dead, basically. That's very impressive to see. Is that main from Villain? Yeah, that's main. That's a really nice chain from Villain. Just going to send off his 7th chain. Yeah, and again, that's a nice build from them, but it's not gonna be enough, sadly. Oh, will it? Oh, it's actually enough. Wow, I didn't thought it would, but that's enough. Okay, game still on. Let's see how they play this late game. Then going for the 2-chain, that's a really good choice here. Because Villain has that much more resources than him, so you can just play the chains that won't work. You need to play out like attacks and try to poke out of Villain. And it works out perfectly. That's a really great job from Dan here. Converting his disadvantage into a winning position. And against a player like Villain, it's not an easy thing to do, like, at all. Again, we have some weird setup from Dan, because he basically can't do anything else than just sending off a big attack. And I think that Villain saw it, and yeah, he's just not gonna let that go through. Big 2-chain here, really nice. Okay, actually, Dan can convert this now, so Villain has to be careful. Not to not just go like too aggressively, but I don't think he's gonna like fall for that. Yeah, just gonna send off. Yeah, that's main. That's main chain. How does that work? Why, it works very fine. Really big 7 chain. Getting off the point. $13 to $19. starting to get a bit like how to come back from that, but let's see how this goes. A really big two chain there from them. Yeah, Villain wasn't pretty much ready for that, but still has some things to do. Yeah, that's some nice defense. Villain just go for the dig. Is that main? No, that's just a 4 chain. Okay. I thought that could be main, but no, it was a 4 chain. That was a pretty good choice, I think, because now I can just spam the other than with attacks, and yeah, he's just gonna take the one like that. Big free chain and just close it off. Let's see if Dan can close the set. Maybe. I'm wondering if longer sets are like at the advantage of Dan or Villain. I'm not sure actually. Like it could be both way, honestly. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Really big chain from Villain. Just pounded by. Is that main? No, that's a 5 chain. That's not main. Oh, wait, does that work? No, it doesn't. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think Villain didn't saw that this wasn't main, and he thought that he had enough time to extend, but he didn't. That was a nice trap. That's what's really strong with Dan's builds. It's that it's really hard to estimate how long his chains are. Like even me as a commentator, I struggle to read them while I just focus on it. So imagine just playing the game and have to analyze this kind of chain. It's just very hard. That was a very nice dig from Dan there to get the 4 chain going. Is that going to be enough? I think it does. That's some nice try from the lane, but yeah. That was really nice run by Dan. Going for a pretty insane dig. Okay, nice defense, 4 chain. That's main from Villain, but I'm not sure of this one. Yeah, Dan has more. I think it's now Dan that is in advantage, but that could always like go the other way around. Both players going for big builds. Dan just starting off main. It's like 7? Yeah, that's 7 chain. And how much is that? It's not that much. Yeah, just a free chain from Villain. So Dan taking the point. 16 to 20. Dan getting back into the match. Only a 4-point lead from Villain, which like could disappear really quickly. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Early attack, no response from Villain. We then close it off even more. Let's not speak too fast. Yeah, that's a really nice free chain from Villain. But yeah, no way you counter the 5. Okay, only a 3-point lead now. Let's see, maybe Dan can close it off. Oh, that's such a big point from Dan. Again, just like burying Villain into the garbage. Got a bit unlucky with the Ojamas. Oh, that's a really nice free chain from Villain. but that's an even bigger free chain from Dan. Not enough to kill, but still, again, really powerful to chain. They're really just finding out their guts. Oh, that's a very big free chain from Villain, but that's an even bigger full chain from Dan. Oh, and Villain barely got the time to start off his main chain. That's a 5, I think it's gonna be hard to counter, yeah. He's not dead yet, but Dan is at a strong disadvantage here. Will Villain manage to close it off? Let's see. Oh, he can always, yeah, can always turn it around. That's a nice free chain. It hits. Nice 4 chain. Not a very much response from Dan. Yeah, suddenly he doesn't have anything. I think it's game over for Dan now. Oh, again, nice free chain to just close it off. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, it's not enough. It's not enough at all. That was a very nice try from Dan. That was a very, very nice try. Okay. Let's see, Dan is actually a relatively strong chain. Is that main from Dan? I don't know, it's like whatever, I'm just gonna send it off. 7 chain. Oh, yeah, that's a really nice start from Villain. He noticed that he needed to not put his red in the third column. How does that work? Yeah, it's 12. Yeah, that's a big 12 chain. Yeah, sadly 12 is just that hard to counter. Really clean from Villain there. Okay, that's a nice counter from Villain. Okay, then going for the extension there, which I think is a fair choice. Yeah, because actually he has a pretty strong chain. Yeah, just everything works. Just misses like one purple, but still a very big 8 chain. That's gonna beat Villain's chain. Great job from them there. Just going off for this nice extension. Still a 4-point lead from Villain, so maybe Dan can close it off. Again, wow, what a big form there. That one chain just sending 3 lines of garbage. Like, what are you supposed to do against that? Like, seriously. Don't tell me like Villain's gonna dig out of that. There's no way. Yeah, just send off a big free chain. Wait. Actually, Villain got back to his stuff, but I don't know if there's much he can do in this position. Yeah, I don't think there is. Just gonna send off 2 chain. That counters, but like... Villain's board is so chaotic. While Dan is very, very clean. So yeah, I think that's very at Dan's advantage here. Just gonna send off his main chain. It's like a really big 5 chain. There's no way, like, Villain has enough. It's a simple 5. Yeah, great job.
やはりその左の CTR が一生残っちゃいましたね。さあもうあと3問差ということで、さあこれもまたね速攻ができる土台ですが L 字型のサブマリンにもすることができるという、なんかすごいこと考えて
Again,
しまった
Villain playing it really
ただ
safe.
ね、ヴィラン選手もねもうこれ容赦なく組んじゃってもいいと思うんですよね。なかなかやっぱ
Oh,
ねちょっと
but
これ
is he
時間
ready
が来た
for
のでこん
that?
な感じで
That's not
で
enough to
も
defend.
強引でいいから食らい
Yeah,
つ
that
い
was a
て
great
折り返し
follow-up
てほし
from
いですね。
Dan there, just closing off the point.
っていうところがちょっと
20 to
気が入ってる
22.
気がします。
Let's see. Dan really closing it off,
やはりねちょっと意識しすぎて
managing
ます
to
ね。
get back into the
DDR に対す
match.
ることをちょっと意識するあまり
We
に
may
も
have a close outcome.
まあ意識するのが難しいで
Let's
すよ
see.
ね。これだけ威圧組まれてるから。さあミルフィ速攻。ただでも今回緑構えてるんで打たないんで、こうなるとね折り返し遠くなってるんでヴィラン選手多分本線ぶちかましちゃったら意外とゲームが簡単に動く可能性もあるんですが、
Some pokes going
さあ
on.
いいですねこの2連3連
Let's
鎖。
see where it goes.
さあ
That's a
いやいい
big
な、絶対
free
よ
from
いいよく
Villain.
反応してるなこ
Nice
れ。
response there from Dan. That's a really nice
さあ青側
response.
の見えないでもいいか手前に対応できるのかこれは。
Just neither of those two want to send off his main. That no, that's not main from them. Yeah, sadly it was not enough to counter. I don't like. I'm trying to see what he can do, but that's not great build. Wait, that's actually what an insane 4-chain. Like, how do you pull this off? Like, it's really insane. 5-chain from Villain. That may be good enough actually. I mean, that's enough to not die at least, but still a tough situation. Again, that's a nice counter there. Yeah, sadly, Dan's getting buried under the garbage. Even if he manages to pull out some really great defenses, yeah, it's just not gonna be able to keep up the pace. The pace. Yeah, sadly, those kind of situations where it's just like when you have tempo advantage, there's pretty much nothing you can do. Like, by the time you just get the start of a 2-chain going, your opponent just has a 3 or 4 and there's nothing you can do about it.
さてなんか気づいたら割ともう接戦になってますね本当に。さあ本線ただこれ青が繋がんないんで一回単発して、ただちょっとこれ DDR 側が若干本線に寄ってる気がする。やはり本線に寄ってしまうと
Okay, then going straight into main to respond to Villain's 6-chain. Oh, what? Oh, that was a bit greedy from Villain, not starting with the blues, like right off the bat, but still gonna pay off with this 6-chain.
ただちょっと2列目になるまで気合で即悪化できなくなってしまったんで、まあ組み直しにまあ行きますって感じですねこれは。
Yeah, Villain has a very good chain going on. But I think Dan does too. I'm not sure how to read this, but I think it works. So maybe Dan can pull out something pretty nice there. Nice extension with the last hit. Yeah, that works pretty well. Yeah, that's a really nice tail from Dan. Pulling off a 10-chain. Let's see. Would that be enough? He has 10 too. Yeah, it's more because there was a bit more chain power. But that was still nice chain from both sides. Really, really nice chains there.
さあここに来て2本取っていき、さあまた心にねゆとりを持ちたい、ゆとりを持ってプレイしたいですね。こういう結構速いタイプのプレイヤーに対しては。さあこれはまあさすがに打てないですね。さあこうなると本線がちょっとやや遠くなったり崩れて気味の DDR がどれだけ変則的な動きでリカバリー
I don't know why Dan decided to block off his GTR with those, like this blue in the fourth column. But let's see. Hmm. Yeah, some weird choices by
あー、
Dan
ヴィ
in
ラン選
this
手マ
round.
ジで冷静ですね、これは。さあ、このまま残り5本と残り10本とちょうどね、2-1ペースだとギリギリっていうところに追い詰められてしまった。さあ、前消しもありそうですが、ちょっとこれ取れませんでしたね。さあ、これ GTR に行くか。いや、まだ埋めない、まだ埋めない、まだ埋めない、これは。まだ埋めないのか。さあ、もう、ヴィラン選手はもう、縦3で高くしましたね、これは。さあ、バックからの攻撃。
Okay, free chain
これ、
attack.
青1回消さないといけない。これ
And
はちょっと時間を取ってしま
Villain
った。
going straight off into main.
さあ、の見切りも
That
ね、
may
あ
be
る
a
かを見
bit
て、
early. Let's see.
さあ、黄色で
Ah,
打っていく。
sadly,
あー、でもワンチャン返し
not
てたかも
enough
しれない。
time for Dan to send off his main.
さあ、ここに来て6本差と開いてきました。
That's a tough match. You can see how
さあ、
much
そして
like
追い込みに
Villain
はなるんで
is
すが、もう相手のゴールも考え
is
て、
just ready to
ペース
pretty
アップ
much
してってい
anything
う
Dan will try to
の
do.
ではなく、もう合わせないといけないタイミング、
But
切り替え
Dan
なきゃいけ
still
ない。
like pulling it off really
さあ、
well
これは
actually.
ヴィラ
Like
ン選手がこれはちょっとどうするんだこれは。
getting 20 points out of Villain is
はい、
nothing to be ashamed of.
ストレ
But
ー
I
トで
mean
ヴィラ
it's
ン選
not
手
over
3連取り
yet.
で、
I'm talking like it's over, but it's not over
さあ、
yet.
3連鎖、もうこれは本戦
Let's
です。
see.
ここ
That's
ここが勝ちまし
main.
たみたいな感
Yeah,
じです。
that's main from Villain, but just had like a lot of stuff popping off, so
さ
it's
あ、ヴィラン選手
only 9,
側の、
but
おっと、
only may
い
not be
や、
the
あ
best
お
word here. Yeah, that does that
あ
work?
ー、惜しい。
No, no, it doesn't.
黄色が
Yeah,
当たら
that's
な
just
い。
6,
黄色が
sadly.
つながった。これは帰りましたね、普通に紫まででも。
Mm.
さあ、7本といいですね。ヴィラン選手のリズムがまた上が
Okay,
ってき
the
ましたね。
sub setup from that. It's a really
こ
clean
こで
sub.
ね、ラストスパートだ、ギアが上がってしまったら、もうこのままストレートで KO まで持っていくんじゃないかと。さあ、ワンパン何か入れたい。ワンパン
Okay,
グラブ。
two chain
さ
going
あ、ワン
on.
パングラブ。さあ、
And
さあ、
oh, I was gonna say that Villain's not ready for it. He is.
完全にヴィランサイドか。
Yeah, just gonna send off main.
さあ、これ青
That's a nice tail again from Villain. That's 11. Yeah, 11
打っ
chain.
た、どうだ。あ
Responded by.
あ、しかやってない。すいません。
Uh,
おあ
oh
ー、入った。
no, the blues popped. But even if they didn't, I don't think it was enough for him to
だから繋がってたら
like
回
to
復し
keep
そうっ
up with
て、
Villain, especially
本
with
戦
this
の
second chain that Villain was
対処
building.
難しいですね、やはり。形が結構序盤でプレッシャーかける、土台にはなってるので、結構やっぱり意識のところが結構多くて、まあ、なかなか飛んじゃうのも仕方ないかなっていう感じはしちゃうんですけど、逆にそこが繋がってたと思うと恐ろしいですね、本当に。さて、
Mm.
さて、さて、さて、さて。
Again, maybe an attack.
さあ、これも
Yeah,
また始まりました。
that's a nice free chain
今回は
countered
黄色
by
になりました
a
ね。
4 chain.
さあ、4連対応。
Then has to send off
さあ、こ
something.
こに来て、ヴィラン選手の上出来
Sadly,
的権利サー
doesn't
ブ
have
が
anything to send.
刺さっていく。
That's match point from Villain. Yeah, 10 points in a row.
29と最大本数基本差。
That's gonna be really, really
本当
tough.
に
But I
ヴィラン選
mean,
手がも
let's see. Let's see.
う上がりに上がっていく。終盤
Maybe
か
Dan
ける
can pull
ラ
off
スト
some
スパート。
crazy
ラスト
stuff.
スパート大加速。実は余力を残しておりました。ここからまだ強くなりますと。さあ、ヴィラン選手に
Going on for the early 2 attack. I don't think Villain was quite ready for it. Yeah, it truly wasn't.
さあ、ここから
Just have to close it off. Yeah, just giving him the
ここから
point.
DDR 選手が求められるのは1回も負けずに
That's 1 out of 10. Maybe he can put it off.
本当にルーザーズランですね。1回でも負けたら終わりっていうルーザーズラン。ヴィラン選手はね、別に何回まだ8回は死ねるっていう。
Again, going for an attack setup. Mm,
さあ、どう出るこれは。さあ、本戦も確定させた。ヴィラン選手はもうあと本戦
just
簡単に
he
打ち負け
decides
る
to not send it off, trying to convert it
さあ
into
ヴィラン選手
main.
はどうだ、意識することがあまりにも多い
But again, like main chains are hard to pull off against Villain. But let's see, let's
さ
see.
あ、
That's a nice extension from Villain. He has a lot of chain
入
power.
れていきました。さあ、
Uh,
DDR
yeah,
もう
sadly, I don't see how Dan can pull off a 12 chain,
難しい
like, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and sadly, Villain will
さあ、
close it
取
off.
っていったのは 2P ヴィラン21対30。おめでとうございます。ナイスゲーム、GG。
Yeah, just then not
惜しい
able
試合
to
でした
pull
ね。
off the
なん
win
か、
against Villain,
展
but
開
again,
が
like
うまく
it's still a
整えていけ
really,
ず。
really good performance that we got. So yeah, that was Didier Dan versus Villain.R. So as I said earlier, like Villain is now in a pretty good spot actually to get into second place in the TCRL because he has two losses, but those are really close losses. So he still really gets a lot of points if goal average comes into play. So yeah, I think Villain can uh, can really compete for second place, but sadly it's not up to him now because he played all of his matches. The last two are gonna be Yoshi versus Dan on Sunday, and uh, on December 22, which is I'm gonna check. Yeah, it's next Sunday. We're gonna have the last match with Arcliff against Iku. So if you want to see the next matches of TCRL, feel free to follow the channel. And yeah, I'll see everyone either Sunday for Yoshi versus Dan, or you can also join us tomorrow. We're having an event called Le Donjon if you want to join. We're gonna have all of the informations on our Discord, so if you want to join, everyone's free to. I wish you a best day, evening, whatever, whatever it is at your current location. And yeah, see you everyone soon. Goodbye.